My name is Dr. Allison Brashear, and I am the chair of neurology at Wake Forest School of Medicine in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I became involved in the study of AHC because I study rapid onset dystonia Parkinsonism. RDP is caused by the ATP1A3 gene, and I've been studying that disease since 1993. We reported that RDP was caused by the ATP1A3 gene in 2004. And now that AHC is also caused by that same mutation, we've begun to overlap and study the overlapping phenotypes. I've gotten to know the families of with patients with AHC over that time. It's been a real honor to work with everyone. So the disease of AHC and RDP is really a broad continuum, but the patients have onsets brought oftentimes by triggers, and that trigger can either be cold, water, stress, and that is unusual because then the patients develop neurologic symptoms. And there aren't very many diseases that we know of where external triggers can then bring on a genetic disease. So it's quite disabling. AHC is even more disabling because many of the patients have refractory epilepsy and seizures that can be life-threatening. So one of the most interesting things about this disease is just in the few short years that we've known the cause of AHC, we've begun to realize that there's dystonia, there's AHC, there's CAPOS, and there's more diseases that are beginning to come under a complete umbrella of ATP1A3 diseases. We have just been refunded by NINDS, and so we originally were looking at the phenotype of rapid onset dystonia Parkinsonism, but now we're looking at imaging in both patients with RDP and patients with AHC. And we hope to help elaborate the neural networks that are impaired in these diseases. By studying a rare disease, you can actually begin to understand more common diseases such as epilepsy, dystonia, and Parkinsonism, which all have features that we see in the disease of ATP1A3. Absolutely, we need more patients. I get emails probably one every month or two about patients who have been told or diagnosed. So we would like to have those patients participate in our trial, and you can go to atp1a3.diseases with an S.org, and you can actually volunteer to be in the study. We have funds to pay for patients to travel to North Carolina to do imaging, and we are collecting information on those patients. The imaging is key because if we find out that there are particular neural pathways that are impaired, things such as deep brain stimulation or other things might be helpful, or certain medications. The team that works on the diseases at Wake Forest is a collaborative effort between Wake Forest and Mass General Hospital, where Dr. Swedner works. She's the one that discovered the protein as a postdoc. And then Dr. Azelius, who's the one that determined that rapid onset dystonia Parkinsonism was caused by ATP1A3 gene. So it's a collaborative network of clinicians, basic scientists, and geneticists working together to try to push the disease forward and to find treatments and preventions. Dr. Azelius is at Mass General Hospital, Dr. Swedner is at Mass General Hospital. Those folks all work together. We're working with Duke, we work with Dr. Swoboda, and multiple families who are interested in the imaging. So we'll actually be having patients who have rapid onset dystonia Parkinsonism and then patients with AHC, and then we'll compare those two groups and see whether the MRIs and the other imaging is different.